MediaWatch.sg/cgames to catch all the action for free, or catch highlights of MediaCorp Entertainment on YouTube. In the next hour on Asia First.
Humans have always reached for the stars. And in the 20th century, determination and technology brought space within reach.
Space is going to be ubiquitous in our economy. We can't run away from the space industry.
そういったその地球上での Before I dive right in, I did just want to welcome Ben Hall back to the briefing room. We're so glad to see you here and just everything that you've been through. And just welcome back to the department. Hope to see you around here more often. All right, I have one very brief thing, and then we'll dive right into your questions. I wanted to provide you all an update on our efforts in Sudan from the weekend. 3 U.S. government-facilitated convoys successfully enabled groups of U.S. citizens, their immediate family members, nationals from allied and partner countries to arrive safely in Port Sudan on April 29th, April 30th, and today. These convoys have assisted over 700 individuals. We unfortunately don't have a further breakdown at this moment. From there, we have been assisting U.S. citizens and others who are eligible with onward travel to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, where additional U.S. personnel are positioned to assist with consular and emergency services. This successful operation would not have been possible without the dedication and bravery of our locally employed staff who facilitated the movements from Khartoum during an arduous overland journey to Port Sudan. We salute their commitment and applaud their courage. This builds on the U.S. government's efforts to assist the departure of our diplomats, private U.S. citizens, and lawful permanent residents by land convoys, flights on partner aircraft, and by sea. In a multinational effort, the U.S. government, in concert with allies and partners, has facilitated the departure of over 1,000 U.S. citizens from Sudan since the start of the violence. This effort has included intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance overwatch, close coordination with partner nations on flights and convoys, and a sustained diplomatic and messaging effort to approximately 5,000 U.S. citizens who have sought our guidance. For those among them who have sought our assistance to depart, we are working tirelessly and around the clock to ensure those who have sought our assistance in Sudan that they are aware of all options for evacuation. More than 200 U.S. government officials have been working around the clock since the start of the crisis, 24/7, to coordinate these efforts with allies and partners to facilitate safe departure of U.S. citizens. Officials within our task force, which comprises interagency experts focused on coordinating logistics, consular, diplomatic, and assistance efforts, are also working around the clock with stakeholders across the U.S. government. Since April 24th, we have moved State Department personnel from Washington, D.C. and overseas missions, including, among others, to Djibouti, Jeddah, Nicosia, and Nairobi to assist U.S. citizens departing Sudan. Additionally, U.S. consular officers are on hand in Port Sudan to provide consular assistance to U.S. citizens. I will note the security environment is dynamic and the positioning of our personnel in Port Sudan may be subject to change. Task force personnel here in DC and those supporting U.S. citizens departing Sudan at posts in the region have worked more than 1,200 collective hours based on initial conservative estimates. We have sent and responded to more than 25,000 emails and thousands of phone calls and text messages providing information, coordination, and assistance to U.S. citizens. There continue to be options available on commercial vessels traveling from Port Sudan to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. For departure from Port Sudan to a neighboring location, U.S. officials stand ready to provide consular assistance to U.S. citizens upon arrival to neighboring countries. U.S. citizens who were not able to take advantage of the several convoy opportunities should reach out to us using the crisis intake form on our website if they have not done so. We will continue to inform our citizens of departure options that may make sense or work for them, including by land, air, and sea, including options facilitated by partner nations. Intensive negotiations by the U.S. with the support of our regional and international partners enabled the security conditions that have allowed the departure of thousands of foreign and U.S. citizens, including through this weekend's operation. We continue to call on Sudanese armed forces and the rapid support forces to end the fighting that is endangering all civilians, and we reiterate our warning to U.S. citizens not to travel to Sudan. Kick us off.
Quite a lot of words spoken over this weekend in Washington, D.C. Literally, almost very covered back with us here. Come back.
Mà con đi ra mổ đi ha.
I will say, the region we will probably see the most all over the way, being it now. So that is that. I'll pass back to
Nó
you.
gì là còn phải
Yeah, quick, I want to know about that's the goal.
So that is all. Currently, we don't have any immediate
cũng đi này
So again, to reiterate what I said, we have a few
ở dưới này vẫn là nhiều
there were three convoy of
First one was Saturday, second one, two or three.
two was on Sunday, and I believe that earlier today.
How many American citizens have consular
I understand your question.
So the answer is
The other important thing is that is not the police.
but I'm only asking you
I
that.
understand.
I'm not asking you about the imperial, I'm asking you about the
I don't have
Really? Do they not have a count? CA?
Yeah,
ongoing.
I know it's ongoing, I'm asking you so far, so obviously.
I don't have this further specific right now.
The numbers have been a little bit lower. I'm trying to.
but then,
Here's that's the number.
but the,
Nothing more, okay?
hopefully, I think it's going to be
Wider.
80% of the usually sample. I don't like that one.
There is not a
All the dirt is very dusty. But it, all those things I get is from Malaysia.
at a time and at a modality that
No, I don't
each
think
circumstance is different. What I can say is that through the crisis in Q4, we have communicated to more than 5,000 American citizens and states. Given the violence, we have been able to safely evacuate across the board. What I will say in my talker, I mentioned that we had a lot of conflicts over the weekend, carried a total population of 700. And so those are not reflected in that 1,000 number yet.
Hey, how
something like this.
As I said, we don't have any breakdown for you all at the moment, but when I do, I will.
Try what we go here. It is again, sometimes we go meet together, everybody bring out the best food. That is so much fun. We keep mentioning don't be. How can get?
The thing that is important to keep in mind is that not every American citizen who has necessarily
So that's all I
has
want
to register from the crisis in Q4, which is why it is hard to give you a very specific snapshot from time to time. So, no, I would not say that this time is accurate to the
you put on morning, Monday, always, everybody do the food. Thursday, do the food. What are you doing? Yeah, all this, I think you can get it in Uganda and Ghana if you want to buy. You can buy 5, 6, 7. All this one is really very. 所以河岸的那个学费其实要交，河岸的学费其实要交，你记得那个吧？I put a little bit of, while it's in the new site, do a little bit of this.
They apparently have less of them. And they're going to sell to have 80.
I'm not aware of specific cases, but that is something that the company will pay close attention to. And I would also note is that our convoys, they were not 100% full either, just given the ongoing security situation with tracing practices so that we could, and we're able to safely get them. And I'm not aware of this specific case. There are a number of options available in Port Sudan. Obviously, there was public reporting of the U.S. naval vessels.
This is how people celebrate the Lunar New Year in Dali Village. Cheers!
This year's celebration is particularly special. The adults at this table all work in factories in the cities. This is the only time when many of them can see their children. China's zero COVID policy over the last 3 years has made it all even harder. People here are warm and inviting. You guys are so friendly. I literally just walking by, they're like, come join us for lunch. We came to this place in China's southern Guizhou province to see how the part of northern China is celebrating the Lunar New Year without pandemic restrictions.
This village is nestled deep within the mountains, remote, hard to access. Because of that, for hundreds of years since the villagers have settled here, the majority of the food they eat they either grow or they raise themselves.
We visited villagers' home. Sanjay greets us with a treat and alcohol, both made from rice from the paddy fields nearby. Drinking is
Hi, everybody. Join us, Misha. Join us. Let me first congratulate the White House Correspondent Association for a very successful, wonderful weekend. I want to also thank the president, Tamara Keith, for her wonderful speech and a wonderful event and evening. And with that, I'll start. On Friday evening, a 9-year-old child was murdered along with 4 others in yet another shocking, horrific act of gun violence in America, this time in Cleveland, Texas. 2 of the women killed were discovered on top of surviving children and appeared to be shielding them from gunfire. In all, 5 people were murdered by an individual armed with a powerful AR-15 stun rifle. As the manhunt for the suspected assailant continues, we urge the public to heed all guidance from law enforcement officials and stay safe. Federal law enforcement agencies have been providing assistance and support to local law enforcement as they work to respond to this tragedy and locate the suspect. The president was briefed on the shooting on Saturday morning, and he and the First Lady are praying for those killed in the attack, for their surviving loved ones, and for the broader Cleveland community. But the president believes prayers alone are not enough. Congress must act, because what makes tragedies like this one all the more heart-wrenching is the fact that it is entirely within our power to take these weapons of war off our streets. The majority of Americans and the majority of gun owners support common sense measures to reduce gun violence. The president continues to believe that Congress must act without delay. It's not too late to save lives and prevent the next mass shooting. And as you all know, this afternoon, the President and the First Lady welcomed His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., President of the Republic of the Philippines, and First Lady Luis Arnetta Marcos to the White House. The President is currently hosting President Marcos for a bilateral meeting. The 2 leaders will announce a range of new opportunities to deepen business, investment, and infrastructure cooperation. Invest in the clean energy transition and the fight against climate change, and to cooperate on education and human rights. The President will also reaffirm the United States ironclad commitment to the defense of the Philippines, including in the South China Sea. And the leaders will discuss our country's work to modernize the U.S.-Philippines alliance. We will also discuss regional matters and coordinate our effort to uphold international law and promote a free and open Indo-Pacific. We'll have a fact sheet out later this afternoon on the specific deliverables we're announcing as part of this visit, as well as a joint statement from the two leaders. And finally, President Biden issued a presidential proclamation declaring May Mental Health Awareness Month to honor the tens of millions of Americans living with mental health conditions and celebrate their loved ones and mental health professionals who provide them with the care they need. Tackling the mental health crisis is a key priority for the president, who outlined his plans to tackle our mental health crisis in his first State of the Union address. He called for major transformation in how mental health is understood, accessed, treated, and integrated in and out of healthcare settings. As part of that effort, this administration has launched 988, a national suicide and crisis lifeline that people can call if they are faced with a crisis, and a separate maternal mental health hotline to help mothers navigate mental health issues. Passed historic laws that further required insurers to cover mental health care, hired tens of thousands of school-based mental health professionals, expanded access to mental health care for service members and veterans, and provided historic resources to expand access to prevention and treatment for mental health and substance use disorders. Now, to kick off the month, HHS launched findsupport.gov, a website that people can go to find resources and help you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health challenge. And yesterday, U.S. Surgeon General Greg Murphy also announced in a New York Times outlet that his team will launch a national framework to rebuild social connection and community in America. Mental health challenges can affect anyone regardless of race, gender, politics, or income. The president has said that we are all in this together. So this month and every day, let's all take care of ourselves and our loved ones. Together, we will keep fighting to get everyone access to the care they need to live full and happy lives. And last week, President Biden issued a presidential proclamation declaring mental health awareness month, as I mentioned already, and we also mentioned at the New York Times. The last thing I want to say is mental health challenges can affect anyone regardless of race, gender, politics, or income, and the COVID-19 pandemic made challenges for many people even harder due to isolation and trauma. If you are facing a crisis, dial 988 to reach immediate and confidential help 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or visit findsupport.gov. The president has said that we are all in this together, as I mentioned already. And so with that, Darlene, please get us on.
Thank you. Two questions. What is the White House view of Speaker McCarthy's visit to Israel, especially given that the issue of judicial overhaul there has not been resolved? And can you also say, I know the Speaker and the President have spoken about budget issues, but did the White House brief Speaker McCarthy before his trip, or any official?
I don't have we don't have any readout or engagement to read out at this time. Look, I'm not going to get into the speaker's trip or to Israel. As we know, that is not unusual for a speaker to travel outside of the country, to travel to a country like Israel. We've seen comments that the speaker has made, and so we'll let him speak to his intentions, but I'm not going to dive into the trip more broadly. That's for something for the speaker to speak to.
On the visit of President Marcos, can you talk a little bit about, he arrived at the South Politico, there's an honor guard, some leaders come here and they come here with the main entrance, others get a grand arrival from the South Korean president this last week. President Marcos seems to be somewhere in the middle. What message is the president trying to send?
Look, I want to be very clear. This meeting at the bilat that they're currently happening between the two heads of states, it's about strengthening our important alliance with the Philippines, which has been a force for peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific for over 70 years. Our work together will allow our alliance to operate more effectively, not only for the defense of the Philippines, but for the good of the region, such as the response to natural disasters. As I mentioned at the top, climate change is important as well. We have shared with the Philippines for decades common interests, values, and commitment to regional stability and security. Every trip is different. This one, as you just laid out, the welcoming is different. I don't have anything specific to an explanation. As you know, there's a lot of conversation, diplomatic conversation between the two governments when they come visit, and what the agenda is going to be, how the different, like what the itinerary is going to look like. I just don't have anything specific to your question.
On First Republic, is this it? Are you bracing for more banks to fail?
So let me lay out a couple of things, as though we haven't really had an opportunity to speak to this on the record. So, as you saw, today's actions ensure the continued resilience of the banking system, including at community and other banks, which are vital to the American economy, small businesses, and workers as well. All First Republic insured and uninsured deposits are being assumed by JP Morgan Chase. The American people and American businesses can continue to have confidence that their deposits will be there if they need them. At the same time, these actions are being taken in a manner that ensures that the First Republic, which was severely mismanaged, is being held accountable. While depositors are being protected, shareholders will continue entirely lose their investments. And in addition, no taxpayer dollars will be used to facilitate this action. Any losses associated with the resolution of First Republic will be borne by fees on banks and not by taxpayers. Going forward, the president has been clear that we must be or do more to ensure the continued resilience of the banking system. The president has called on Congress to take additional action to ensure that regulators have the tools they need to hold the executives of federal institutions accountable. And he has called on regulators to reverse a series of steps taken during the prior administration to relax regulation and supervision of large regional banks like Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, and now First Republic. Look, we wanted to make sure, the president wanted to make sure that any losses will be borne by fees on banks and not taxpayers. That was the directive that the president gave, and that is the action that you have seen the FDIC take and regulators.
The president today also said we have to be able to make sure that we're not back in this position again, saying I think we're well on our way to be able to make that assurance. Beyond calling on Congress to take these steps, as you just mentioned, what steps are you taking to avoid this from happening again? I guess why so confident?
So look, we are very confident because we have put forth tools, five specific tools that I can speak to that the president wanted to make sure that were out there. Again, we've taken decisive and forceful actions these past several weeks to make sure that the banking system is in a stable position, and that's what you're seeing this administration do. Look, first, the FDIC quickly took control of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank's assets and protected all depositors at both banks without putting taxpayer dollars at risk. Second, the Fed's new lending facility is helping banks meet the needs of all of their depositors. Third, we encourage the FDIC to exempt community banks from any special assessments it imposes to refill the deposit insurance fund after recent failures. Fourth, the president called for regulators to reverse steps taken during the prior administration to weaken regulation and supervision of large regional banks, as I mentioned before, Silicon Valley, Signature Bank, and First Republic. And of course, the FDIC's resolution of First Republic today protected all depositors as well. So these are the tools that we have in our tool belts to prevent this from happening again. But as you've seen over the last couple of weeks, we have taken decisive and forceful actions. And of course, we're going to be continuing to monitor this. This is something that the FDIC is monitoring, but at the direction of the president. His economic team has made sure that, again, depositors and families and American families are not paying for mistakes from these banks.
Right now, the FDIC's standard limit is $250,000. We're seeing growing support for raising that insurance cap. That's something the president supports.
So look, the president has proposed a number of concrete steps to strengthen our banking system. He's called for regulators to reverse the steps taken, as I mentioned, and he's called for Congress to take additional action, so to ensure that regulators have the tools that they need on top of the tools that he's put forward. And the president's economic team is certainly reviewing. There's an FDIC report that I'm sure that you've seen on deposit insurance, and so the team's going to review that, and we'll hopefully have more to share.
On March 13th, after the FDIC collapse, we heard almost verbatim the president say what he said today with regard to calling on Congress to give regulators the tools to hold banks accountable, with regard to regulators strengthening regulation, with regard to making sure this does not happen again. And here we are again. So can you clarify between March 13th and today, what has changed, if anything? Have any of those tools gotten sharper, and how has he reached out to Congress?
So a couple of things. The First Republic, the Silicon Valley Bank, and the Signature each faced unique, very, very unique vulnerabilities. So just want to put that out there. And since our administration has taken decisive and again forceful actions, uh, we have seen deposit flow stabilize at regional banks. So that is important because of those tools I just laid out, and because we took actions very quickly. And we've seen stronger than expected earnings at many banks, including regional banks. So the actions again that we've taken has helped. These were unique situations of three banks that you all have been following clearly and that I just mentioned. And again, we continue to monitor this situation. This is something that FDIC, this is a process that they have taken, that they have monitored, and we just want to make sure that the depositors are not the ones who have to pay the bill. We're taxpayers, right? And so we're going to continue to do the work that we need in these past couple of days.
Mid and large size banks, has anything changed with regard to power of the tools?
And we think, I just laid out, we think the tools are indeed working. The three banks have had unique vulnerabilities. Just laid those out. We've seen deposit flow stabilize at regional banks, but we also seen stronger than expected earnings at many banks that include the regional banks. So we see that the process that has been put in place, the tools that have been put in place, has actually been working. This is not 2008. This is a very, very different time than 2008.
On the debt ceiling, because McCarthy and Israel, Speaker McCarthy, I should say, reiterated yet again that we will not have the debt ceiling. Just raises it without doing something about our debt, talking about the need for negotiation. I know your position, that that this is the Republicans' burden, right, to raise the debt ceiling. But it's the president's economy. So is he not going to have a meeting with McCarthy until McCarthy gets in? Do you think McCarthy's bluffing here?
The president is prepared to talk about budgeting appropriations process. That's what we've said. We are not a deadbeat nation. The president said that. We heard directly from him moments ago. And the president said he's happy to meet with McCarthy, but not on whether or not the debt limit gets extended. That's not negotiable. We are continuing to be very firm about that, to be very clear. The president again said this himself. Look, what they are proposing would hurt every American and cost 6 million jobs and threaten Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid payments. That's what they're threatening. That's what the American economy that they're saying that they're going to hold hostage. And again, Congress must act. It is their constitutional duty. We've been very clear on what we will negotiate about, which is appropriations and the budget. But we just are going to be very clear. They must act and do their constitutional duty on this.
Well, thanks, Kareem. Back on the topic of banking, when was President Biden informed about the deal? And was he concerned at all about the fact that it makes JP Morgan bigger in general, the administration and kind of opposed to broader corporate consolidation?
Yeah, both the questions that the president has been briefed regularly since the failure of the Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, including the possibility that resolution of this institution could ultimately be necessary. So he has been again regularly briefed on this, and will continue to be as he's directed his economic team to make sure that again taxpayers do not pay for this. And there's a process in place which we've seen from the FDIC. Look, FDIC has a statutory obligation to choose the path that is least cost to the deposit insurance fund, and that's what they did here. It was necessary to ensure continued resilience of the banking system and to do so at no cost to taxpayers. But more broadly, no recent administration has done more to promote competition, address concentration process across industries. We value the community bank model, which provides robust competition to larger banks and provide banking services to communities that might otherwise not get service. And yes, that's why we've encouraged the FDIC to exempt community banks from any special assessments, and it opposes to rebuild the deposit insurance fund after recent failures. This is an FDIC process as it comes to bids and selling, and that is the observation, and that's the path that we're taking.
Is the United States, is the president aware of the bank's efforts to create a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia?
We are aware, just don't have any comments on that.
negotiations with the writers, the unions in California, the union guy, looks like they're heading towards a
So not going to speak to any specific case, as we normally don't do from here, especially as it relates to a strike. As you just said, he's a union guy. We saw him just last week in front of labor leaders, 3,000 of them, and so he's a strong supporter of workers' rights to strike, which is not.
So the motive of the not about user technology because because Monday is Tuesday, everyone is going to do their things. In the official is 8:30.
So look, as I said
And
many
then
times,
whereas
right, you know, the president has had conversations with
normal
Leader Schumer, Senator Schumer, and also
not official means it's not government official.
they've talked several
It's
times,
not
but it
so
doesn't
in time they always
stop
try
us
to
from
delay
saying
by wayside
what
because a lot of things have not
should
been
do,
started
which is put forth,
and they try to delay by wayside
let's be very
by
clear,
not
what
wanting together
what they're
and trying to
planning
give them more
is going to
pressure
do,
and
is going to
stress.
hurt Americans.
Actually they themselves
It's
because
going
they
to,
just are
it's going to
it's for
throw
them
the
that
economy into
they are
chaos. That's what they
ambition
proposed.
to try to
Think
get
about
as
the
many
22%
information
cut
from you
on
and
programs that
continue to
Americans truly
spread the
need to
false
make
rumors
ends meet.
or to put
That's
pressure
what they
on
proposed.
everybody. That is
And
their
so
ambition.
we're going to continue to call that out.
If
Congress
you
is
ask
that. It is something that they've done three times
so
before in the
if
last
this
administration. It
device
is their constitutional duty.
and number two,
As far as to your question on
they
the
also want to
Leader
continue
Schumer,
this
I
device
leave him to
in the
the
end of the
process
day
of how
to say
the
that many
Senate.
people are stressed
We've been very clear on what Congress
and
is.
therefore they want to stress.
A lot of us
Because
want to talk about this.
because I
Very
don't
clear shit about reference
I need to share to provide the discussion of feelings
kind of a 48 hours
of feelings of
period.
yours.
Very clear that
It's
it
what
was
my
a
life
issue
will be.
in that period
And
of
then
time.
go
Since that time, you see an uptick in efforts that have to and how you guys receive.
they created something
So,
from
as
nothing
you know,
long
there's
time ago
been
to
Department
relevant
of State
to try to really get
reports that
powers
the U.S. government
by
has
the end of the day.
the departure of nearly 4,000 American citizens since the start of this crisis. That includes the departure of hundreds of American citizens over the weekend by 3 U.S. government
Sometimes they
operated
try to
convoys to
go
Florida,
see Americans.
where we are supporting their onward travel, including via
Today you never see Chinese.
it also includes ongoing efforts to
Not
evacuate
really allow you
Americans
to
in
hire
flight
them.
on partner
Think
aircraft
about
and
China.
To support this, we have engaged in an unprecedented sharing of U.S. and partner intelligence
Live there,
aimed at
isolate
facilitating safe
themselves,
passage.
everything.
We have deployed U.S. intelligence surveillance and reconnaissance assets to support both U.S. government and partner-led air and assets to and land evacuation routes as well. Americans are using these routes. The environment is fluid and Americans do not always contact the U.S. government before their departure, so we cannot give a precise number
And they say
of
they don't want
Americans.
to connect you.
Our
They
focus
say
has been to
themselves.
remain on helping as many citizens who wish to do so safely as possible in ways that reduce the risk to U.S. personnel.
So
Can I just follow up on the president's spoken with maybe Diamond over the cost of this process?
I don't have any comments to preview at this time.
This administration, we sat here really talked about corporate consolidation. That's something that you want to push against. Our reporting is that JP was the only bidder that offered to take the entire thing. The administration, I just want to you support that because it was the only option or you support that because
I mean, look, no, I totally understand the question. This is an FDIC process, and these decisions are made by the FDIC about the bids and ultimate sale. In this particular instance, for First Republic. So this is something that they run. The directive from this from the process, the president is very clear when he talks to his economic team. The direction he gave them is to prioritize protecting depositors, workers, and small businesses, while also ensuring that taxpayers are not on the hook and ensuring holders lose their investment. That's the directive that he's given to his economic team. But as far as the process, the bids, and the sales, that is something that the FDIC moves forward.
push against this deal that makes the biggest American bank.
It is an FDI process, as I just mentioned. This is something that they are in charge of, and they are the ones who decide on the bids and the sales. What the president has done is given his economic team a directive on how to protect taxpayers and also depositors, and so that is what I can share with you. FDIC runs this process.
But can you give us an update on the tax base?
Very good question. I don't have anything to preview at this time, for all of you, you will hear something in the very near future. Just don't have anything to share from that particular. Good.
Thanks, Karina. Today, the Supreme Court agreed to hear a case that gets at the four-decade old that when a statute is asking notice, the court should defer to executive branch agencies, so to Chevron deference. So, I just have a response to the Supreme Court and to take this case.
I don't have a response at this time.
The essence of it is that, essentially it gets at the question of whether executive branch agencies should have a power, whether the court should take that power away.
I understand the question, just don't have anything to share at this time since this just happened.
One other thing I want to ask you about, that is in recent days, a lot of people who write articles and columns have been writing about the idea that there should be a third option for voters in the next elections. Bill Lincoln is trying to get on the ballot over the state. The president says, don't compare me to the Almighty, compare me to the alternative. What does the White House have to say about the idea that many Americans seem to want not just one alternative, but yet another alternative?
So, as you know, I have to be careful about talking about 2024. We follow the rule of law here. There's a hatch act. What I can say more broadly and speak to 2020, right, and share with you all, as you will know, that the president had a historic win. More people voted for this president and his agenda and how he saw moving the country forward than any other president. And look, the president is going to continue to be focused on the job that he has set forth on behalf of the American people, and call out the contrast that we see from Republicans in Congress and how, again, we just talked about the debt ceiling, how they refuse to do their job and do their constitutional duty and hold the American economy hostage and not deliver on what they're supposed to be doing, and want to cut key programs like veterans programs, like healthcare programs. It's going to hurt American people. So that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on how do we continue to build an economy that doesn't leave anybody behind, that actually helps the very people who have been left behind, and build an economy. You heard him say this today when he was talking about small businesses. And let's not forget what we've seen from small businesses under this administration, how there's been a historic amount of small businesses who have applied for applications to start a small business. That's because of the work that this president has done. So we can continue to build an economy from the bottom up, middle out. I'm not going to speak to specifically to 2024, but this is a president who understands what it's like to make sure that we put the American people first, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
Thanks, Rita. After the First Republic, Elizabeth Warren gave some comments about accountability and specifically named Chairman Powell. What does the White House think about those comments specifically about Chairman Powell being held accountable?
Look, the president believes directed his economic team to do what they can to make sure that, again, depositors are protected and taxpayers are protected. I'm not going to speak to the Fed. We're very, very careful in speaking about the Fed and their policies and how they move forward. When it comes to this particular process, as you know, the FDIC runs this process, the bids and sale process. So I'll leave that to them, but I'm not going to be commenting on specific actions that Jeremy Powell is taking. Not from here.
So I was asking about Susan Rice. What's the plan for replacing her? Is there someone in line? Do you have someone?
We don't have a timeline to share with you at this time. Clearly, it's an important position that the president wants to make sure that we get the right person to move forward with the domestic policies, and it's important to do that.
Thank you. Does the White House believe that they need to expand the quad?
Say that one more time.
Does the White House believe that they need to expand the quad?
Well, as you know, the quad
Some
was
of the
established
ones
2 years ago.
need to
The
be
quad
done
is still a
by my
relatively
mind,
young partnership.
on my
There are
voice.
no plans for new
Some
members
of
at
the
this time.
politics.
Quad
Every
members
day,
have agreed that
you
for
just
now
want
they'll
to
focus on
try.
cementing the quad's many strengths. However, the quad includes opportunities to work with a wide range of Indo-Pacific partners
There's some
such
they
as
try to
these
frustrate you,
Indo-Pacific
giving to
partners
to
for
affect their
climate
daily
and domain awareness,
activities,
which is
your
delivering
livelihood,
cutting-edge
your
airtime
living condition, and
technology around the
that's
region.
what they do
The
to
May
everybody.
24th
So
Sydney
whether
Summit
we are
showcased
working
other
or
opportunities
not
for the
working.
quad to partner
Now
around
you have
other
COVID-19
regional
go at
climate
home.
or health
And now
infrastructure
no
and
more.
more.
They encourage
But
people
top
to go to
priority
the
is ensuring
office
it is well
because everybody tries to go indoors, look at home.
Indo-Pacific currently, and so there's no there's no
discuss
conversation on
by
extending
the
or
technology without
expanding.
they just want them to spend more, want them to go to service office. Because service office brings to them 24, 365 and they want them to go and stay at the service office so that they can now
So as you
use
know,
the people to
on his
monitor
first
them.
day in this
In more
administration, the
in
president
terms
put
of
forth a
surveillance
comprehensive
of
immigration
PR industry.
legislation.
And
And that's to show how
officers
seriously
stand by
he took this,
to look
how important he,
and
how he
think on
understood
themselves,
the
or
system
they
had
can
been
stay at
broken,
home
it
and
needs to
play
be
one
modernized,
mahjong,
being moved
or
to
they
the
can
21st
sleep
century. And
and
so
they
this
can
is something that the
whatever
president
they
has
have to
talked
do.
about.
They
He
try to
has
do
asked
the
Congress
whole block
to take
their
action,
own
Republicans in Congress to
way
take
of
action
doing
and to take,
things
and to work on this in a
without
bipartisan way. He's gonna
people
continue to do
going
that. In the meantime,
diversion become
he's put
then
forward
when they work
some, he has
when they are
tools
in
that
the
he's used
history
to make
they
sure
can
that
benefit
we do this,
for
we
themselves.
actually deal with the immigration system in
That's
a
how
humane
they try to play
way,
the minds
in a way that is,
and that's how they hide
that
it.
actually
Their
deals
minds
with what we're
cover
seeing
whatever
at the border.
secrets
And
or
that's
hidden
why you've seen the
or
local
hidden
program be
agendas
so
or
successful.
secrets
It has,
that we
it has a, it has a.
so these are how the Democrats will play politics.
You've seen it calm down.
They try to delay binaries time because
Because
as
of the
many
actions that
men
the
go
president has taken, but we
haven't
know
started their work
that
on
more
that.
action needs to be taken. So it has to be legislative
And
action.
it's going to be a very busy
Congress
time.
to
So
do
they
that.
later tell the soldiers to say,
This is important.
go on me on this,
On
go
day
on me
one,
on that,
on
go
day
on me
one,
on that, go on me on this,
a
in order to diversion is
Republicans are
from their
doing
main work that they are doing.
Well, as
Whether
we've
it's good
seen, Republicans
or
have
without
continued
force,
to use
issues
this
that
as
we every Monday is not Monday to do
a tool and not actually come
because
to the
in the end
table
of
to
the
have a
day, their tax,
conversation on how to
their
protect
ST.
dreamers and farmers.
But if they don't want to pay the ST,
More
let them
immigration
for
judges
the
and asylum
and
officers.
live and pay as
More
well
funding
as
for
possible.
border security.
If they want
This
to
is something that you will
treasure
put forward in
their
that legislation
daily
and so much
expenses,
more.
then in the end, not their life, their daily expenses, then they gotta do something about it because it's so many problems, whether it's a good, if they don't want and let it be, then in the end of the day, they don't complain that they are paid 10% or 50% of what they pay. Because in the end of the day, it's themselves who make
I'm sorry, can you start again? About the visiting of
Like all these 2 years, if they don't try to manage it by this
You
year or
mean
this year,
upcoming trip?
then in the end what happens?
Oh, I just don't have, we don't have anything to share at this time on the trip to Israel. As you know, the president
So they can say delay by the summer this year and next year.
productive,
But what about the
trip.
following 30
We were
years
there
that they're going to
to
live?
talk about the Middle East,
Some
and
even
stabilizing the Middle East, and
30,
continuing the very strong relationship that we have with Israel.
So these are the things that they are losing the objective.
Partnership that we have
They
there.
are
I
just
just don't
doing
have
it out of money at all.
on a trip to some.
It's not before the soldiers of the directors in the office to delay by weeks time. And the end of the day for them, they also need money, but the money is they also waiting. Now you have to form but they can't do anything. And so they have to act
Don't have
how
anything,
they
as it relates to mental health, we
and
will
then
have
you
a
have
lot
higher
more to
powers.
share
So
during
you're
the
waiting for the change.
month of
Then
May.
on a higher mark,
Just
and
don't have
what's
anything
the
specific to
below?
your question.
They are below. And the end of the day, also have different benefits. Whether they are the elders or whatever they are different benefits. Early provide everything not in the top, from the up and down and all over the place, the big circle, or the different practice, the different levels. So people now know for the one reason, everyone is affected and one must be affected. So you have one small negative that do not want to
So look, we're gonna continue to have those conversations. The national
when
security,
anyone
senior
gives
national
a
security team
or when you give the
contact
order
with
that
the
is
SAF
not good,
and the
they
RSF
do it.
leadership,
Because they do it,
the general's diversion and hostilities
they can say they
without
try to push
conditions.
other people for.
And we're consulting very closely with regional partners.
Make
That is
things
something that
worse.
has been
They think for
ongoing
waiting only
for
for
some
themselves
time now.
benefits.
We
But
urge the
others.
SAF and the RSF to fully uphold and extend
Well, I said anytime like
and those are the
that
conversations that we're having. It just laid on further film what we're doing as a graduation.
they
As
just
we
then
go forward on
after I
that,
said
so do it,
I
and do
try
you
to
want
gather
to
as many
leave? I just don't have
information
anything
as
more to
possible.
add to that.
Then after
But
that,
they are
I
high
go
level
on and
conversations
the
that
other
you
side
have
is
with
all
the
very
Christian
simple.
Americans that want to
You know, as this
understand that there are thousands
I
of
go by today,
15,000
look, I get to the Americans, okay,
and
or
the
else
efforts
they
are
will
being
find
here to change their mind. If they're into that,
yes, very fast.
change their mind.
I
So,
suppose that
look, all I can say, the environment is fluid, and Americans, as we all know, do not always, and I just mentioned this to Phil, contacted the US government before their departure, so we don't have a precise number, again, it's very fluid. But I just laid out
And the one in the
that
state of
there's
Singapore,
about
they go to China
1,000
and
departures. I understand 1,000 American citizens, but again, the numbers are fluid. This is the number that we do know of. Again, it's fluid. Not every American who's there tells us when they're leaving. And,
every day,
our focus has been on these,
whether it's
helping,
government or
helping as
anything.
many US
This is
citizens as possible who want to depart, who wish to do so safely as possible in a way that
Sometimes you
reduces
want
the
to not
risk
that is
as well.
not big
So
no.
that's gonna be our
Oh,
focus.
you always
Question on Africa.
we
But
get it, we like
the administration officials in travel to Africa, from
I just want to know what's the latest news
set
about
precedent
it.
for traveling to tell us and
Certain things.
so as you see this commitment from this administration on Africa, you see where they are and covered the leader summit that we had back in December. So there is a strong commitment to the continent, which is mentioned the Vice President went, the State Secretary, agency go to Africa. And the First Lady went to
Now watch this one. Now don't watch this one. Now watch
share
that
our
one. Don't
commitment
watch this one.
to the continent. I don't have any date or any location, specific countries that the president will be visiting in the
Let's do their
continent.
own
But
things.
as we have said many times, the
It
president
doesn't
is
affect
going
them.
to travel
All you want to
sometime
come
this year.
and
We have an
play
update.
all this politics. So I say, I think you're yeah, and it was
First, you need to get
filter.
the president, here to talk about the budget.
And then they will choose, okay,
And then you
so
have
how you want to work?
but not on the debt limit rates. The White House doesn't intend to reach out to the speaker to begin that conversation over the budget. And what happens if you guys want to talk about the debt limit, in concert with that discussion?
We've been very clear, Pat. We've been very clear
I
that
was doing something
what they have.
about this one. Okay, let's say under this one, they'll tell me,
It's not clear.
okay, now,
It's a recipe for economic
few
success.
points.
That is what they have.
At this point,
They're putting the
second
wealth
point,
that they
third
pour
point,
in
okay, you know what?
including billionaires and banks in China.
It's not inside the technology and that. Even
Treasury
for
Secretary
government,
Yellen said they're
they want to
proposing.
gather details from the
And so it would fill the country with chaos and couple things. The Chamber of Commerce has said privatization would have catastrophic economic consequences. And economists to report Portland, Rubio, and Romney
maybe American talks about
and
certain things.
even
that's
Trump's
not under
Treasury
what we are
Secretary said it doesn't make any
But
sense.
we don't want everything open up, remember
The
the
only
leader,
way to avoid this
the
kind of
leader whereby
thing
it's
is
the
first.
education, this one, you want to see.
And we've been very
It's like an
clear
RSS
not
leader.
to put a half
It's
date
something like that.
as they have done.
So
And
this
it
will
was
help
that
people,
hurt
instead
the
of
American
people,
people. And so that's what
we
we're
want to
rolling out.
meet
We
people,
need about 22%
everything after the more money,
and
the
those
life
are the
will be.
things that, and other important key programs that
Yeah,
help
all
this
this is, trying to help people,
make it
find the money, Chinese,
that's something that is not acceptable. And so they need to do their job, their constitutional duties. You heard us say over and over again.
Then sometimes they also,
Not put
everything
16
comes
jobs.
from the
Well, what I could say is Congress is that, and say that over and over again. The president spoke to it.
not relevant to me.
But
It is
then,
relevant here.
I don't see this happening as a report of another mysterious balloon, that the military has been, the US military has been tracking around Hawaii. Is the White House aware of this, tracking it as well? Is there any response from?
It just-
So I heard of the report that there was a which was coming out. So what I would say is I would prefer to.
No, no, whatever they
I'm
do,
sorry, I
Every morning.
The future president of the White House.
Outside and buy your food. Then they just want to do everything out, nothing at all. They create something out of
So we'll ask you about that again at a future time, or we'll follow up on it. Sure. On the matter of, the president's concerns about the bank.
Even they have 90%
And,
of
debt
the work
ceiling. You see a
that
line of convergence at some point.
does it mean that they can
Public's
separate?
concern about his
Many
daily
people are very different, they look at that. You look at your business page.
And when we talked about the debt
Only when
ceiling,
they see, it's not see the other pay the bill.
cataclysmic events for the economy.
In every way, they still,
Is there a
people say they
20%
sell, but everybody is very happy to please everybody.
collide that concerns the president? And might that kind of environment,
Because if you
adjust
have
his
yeah, you need to ask people
strategy,
to
how
vote.
he's doing?
They
I
can
think
make
the
up,
president is concerned. He's concerned that
every
Republicans
day
are
go
not
on.
doing their job and not living up to their constitution.
and they don't have,
We have been saying that over
sometimes
and
they
over.
have.
We've laid out what
Seven
that
dollars
could be,
at all.
you know,
So,
what it could do to the
I
economy, what
value
it could do
this.
to the American people.
Not test out
6
for
million
this.
jobs. I just laid out what
Nobody
the economists,
speak
experts have said
Not because
specifically
they
about
are
their plan
spies,
and how it would
because they have
essentially
continued
lead
to live
to
in the environment where they have no
the
powers.
president needs it.
In order to adapt to their labels,
This is something
you
that
have
we've
to learn
never
to live
been
with
in, something the
prepare
president.
and protect
This
themselves.
has never happened, and I understand
To the
you
changes
can't
that
perhaps
have
change the
happened
dynamic.
into their
I mean, we're in, I think,
into their
by the president speaking every day,
So
Monday,
yeah,
Tuesday,
they
answering
can say
questions,
they
he's
wear your
speaking
boots, but I
directly
don't say
to
that people
Congress,
wear
speaking directly to
But
Republicans. It's not, they know where the president stands. They know
Now
what
they
he
realize
said over and
that
over
whatever they
again for
listen,
months, that they need to do
they
their
shouldn't
job.
always
And
believe.
it is very, very clear. And with what
Also,
we're seeing, the
they
bank,
shouldn't
of
always
course,
believe.
they should actually want to be even more involved to do their job. We have called
There's
for
a chance
Congress
that I need
to do the right thing, to do, not even the right thing, what they're supposed to do constitutionally, their duty. And so, you know, the last Republican president, which was the last one before these administrations, did it 3 times. Republicans joined Democrats, Democrats joined Republicans, however you want to say it, to lose the debt ceiling 3 times. And so, right now, my question should be to them, why did they not want to do their constitutional duty?
But as long
One
as
last question,
we
I'll
are
just
not
take.
inside,
This is what I think banking issue. I'm wondering what the president's message is to members of Congress who might see the current banking shakeup or future banking troubles as an opportunity to make a buck. Yes, for instance, we've already seen some members of Congress who have had what seems like particularly good luck, buying shares of First Republic Bank and turning around and buying shares of JP Morgan.
I'm not gonna speak directly to that, because that's the stage, or I get what you're saying. What we will continue to say is that, the president wants to make sure that it's not the taxpayers, that
and
have
this
to
one
pay
may
for
not be
this,
going to try to play on
who's,
news,
on this. We wanna make sure that they're protected, depositors, families, small businesses, we were very clear, and it does not protect investors. First Republic shareholders and bondholders will lose their entire investments. That's what the president has directed.
They
The
become
executive
with
team
their
to do.
life,
FDIC left this process.
if they don't
Who's
try
going
to
to there?
they
The
do not
president has been
like
really, really clear.
livelihood
No
that
taxpayer
they
money is
and
being
they
used
continue to not
with
able
this
to
resolution,
manage
and he wants to make sure
last
that
time.
they are protected.
All this because
And
before,
because of this management of these banks,
even
like for an example, First Republic,
if you
County.
well,
So
in
that's
China,
our focus
I
right
don't
now.
know
We're
what
not
it
gonna
is.
speak to
I
any
mean,
kind of
you very
hypothetical situation out for me.
And very clear when it comes to the wealthy that they should pay their fair share, that they should not
How can I
serve.
be against him when in the end of the day, I just take simple food, I take freezer food. I'm not proud of it, but I believe that I'm not disciplined. Don't eat junk food, Chinese junk food. It's something that I cook this porridge, huh? And then in the end I cook the porridge and I sometimes I cook rice and I like Singapore last time dinner. I cook the sausage, I cook the rice and I eat rice and sausage. People can say, hey, you are a millionaire. You still eat this apple. Why can you go out eat McDonald's and go and eat restaurant from hotel? It's because They are blind, they are lifestyle. They want to eat and that's so what? As long as it's healthy, it's not poison. Right? You want to spy people? Just silent. See, you know, but no, they are not spying. They are creating more things to a negative way than spying. The diversion because the center is a police mind. Why they are lifestyle. But police are well covered, they have all the resources available. It can be very easy, but need to maintain, enforce, reinforce, reduce the weakness of the area. They also have all the lobbies and the cats around to help them. They also have the PR industry to help, but sometimes they always people may not be reliable in providing and sharing and providing information, knowledge, or information on the internet because there is no clear technology to manage the whole system. So they do all this, do that, do all this. But it's a Bobian, it's a whole jump and the negative expenses and consequences of others. Do something more meaningful. Other people are doing more meaningful. I'm also doing something on my own that is meaningful. I learn. When I gather intel, I may not be learning anything, but at least I learn somehow something. So not the intel itself, not the information itself, not the content of the information, not anything and how people live in this type of situation. Sociology is about this. People live in the school, people live in different environments, they live in the service office or office, in different office, there are different interaction and their way of everything is different. Am I busybody and it's got around my no. I don't single out, I don't look at them negatively. I said, oh okay, this one got negative, this one got negative, yeah, that's all. But they what they do? Since you know the negative one, then why don't you try to give them credit and try to improve on it? Why I can't then don't be busybody, isolate yourself and do not know anything in the world. You see, this is how they look at it. The perception, the human perception of how to look at every angle of politics, creating nothing out of something, and sometimes they do not need to create anything at all, or something. That is the point. How to be able to manage the way they live their life. It's through AI technology, they need help, not me. Everybody needs help with their finances, with their daily expenses and everything that's really necessary. When the diversion forget can see my content. I'm calling for anything. We only have to follow. So anyway I'm still continuing with my doing my thing because now it's still in that part you can see the big differentiation along the way. So in China you see I saw it myself. I still do my things and it's very tiring we go outside. Why am I going to go outside? You have nothing to do, I stay in here. The system change the format, every day I need to do my things. Whether I got when I need to let's say I have 10 tasks. Even though I can do 10 tasks today, it's not what I consider just wait for the tomorrow until I do some in my 10 tasks. My daily task sometimes is the same. It's always routine. I said my time oh, how long you stay in Singapore one day, and then you go back to Singapore. So your daily activities. It's always the same, nothing unusual. My activities like that, other people's activities is like that, the same, but why want to get involved, want to put into their playing politics. I don't need to be put into their playing politics. Mr. A1 later, Mr. B1, Mr. C1. What everybody has written to put into my way of life into their politics. Later Mr. A1, later Mr. B1, later Mr. C1. And all this is so boring. They are all their own kind of settle themselves, don't always use me as a scapegoat. The group also got every number, you know. So people, all these people, or busy out nothing, to delay by this thing. And then got to go and try to settle the problem. So I'm not trying to give pressure on anyone. I just like to know, if I say, okay, you need to manage the crisis the right does it mean I issue order? I don't. If they listen, okay, my point, what to, fine. It's nothing to do, but some of them, some of them, they do not, they want to be relevant in the wrong way, or they want to improve. Just many people find them appreciate it, but they want to improve everything. And they see all these people, they go, hey, they got, okay. Right? So you can see that, with some things, they are just playing with the weakness of system, and to show that in the end of the day, then later they ask themselves, why they fall into the trap, and why they become Christians. Right? And at the end of the day, the ISD observe them and monitor them. They are all falling into this circle of no solution. Everybody, every individual, including the national people. Now you can see right now, as I go outside, I can't even share with people along the way when I go out, even gather more of them, and at least you can see more of them. Or whether I use it or not. Actually, I'm just doing things, I like to be multitask, do two things, more than two things at once. Like I do my thing, I look at the things, and then at the same time, I'm not saying wholly trying to play the game by itself. Because I always, last time I was in America also like that, and feedback I always like that. I always do two things, execute things together at the same time. That kind of situation. To keep myself, to cut down all the things I say my homework I need to do, cut down. Um, so that I don't need, so that my time can finish, so I do things at home. But they just don't want me to do my work. I don't understand. There's no relevance to them. Right? If I do this and this, no relevance to the working life with you. But they still want to get me to them and give their way of doing this and that and that. How do this? And people just not doing anything for you. You know, they just do their own things. That's fine. And they keep wanting people to be frustrated and frustrated and frustrated and all this. Makes no sense. And people are just, and they keep telling, oh, don't listen to America, don't listen to America. I'm not listening to America. I'm just listening to news, that's all. And then they get, oh, please go, please go, please go. I don't even do my things yet, and they tell me, please go. I listen.
Hey, Lindsay, I got to show you with the dust storm that kicked up that big time car pileup in Illinois, we still have wind advisories. Their gusts were above 40 miles per hour, and that's the same thing you can see anywhere highlighted there in brown. Western Illinois, you've got Davenport back to Des Moines. So there are also quite a few of these wind advisories, and even some alerts for flooding where you've got heavy snow and rain. In Michigan, on the Upper Peninsula, they had more than 14 inches of snow with this really pesky low. That's what meteorologist Mel Griffin kept calling it because it was going to stick around for the next couple days. It's going to be slow moving, and it's just going to be showery. If you're in high elevations of Appalachia, you may end up with some frozen precipitation, but for most of us, it's going to be just these rounds of showers after a super soaker of a weekend. So it's just going to keep adding up. And as she said, pesky because it sticks around for this first part of our week. Now you go west, and you know that they've had such an epic winter season, but now 2 days in a row, Salt Lake City, for example, has had record high temperatures. So they're seeing a lot of that melt. The flood alerts are up, but you also have wind advisories from Las Vegas back to parts of desert California for gusts there of up to 45 miles per hour. Lindsay?
All right, Ginger Z, our thanks to you. Next tonight, a desperate manhunt for the suspect who killed 5 of his neighbors in Cleveland, Texas. The reward now stands at $80,000, but investigators say the trail has gone cold. Among the dead, a 9-year-old boy. There are new details about the suspect, including multiple deportations and jailed on a DUI charge. So how did he get an assault-style weapon? This is Matt Rivers is on the scene.
Tonight, hundreds of officers on the ground looking for this man, who authorities say shot and killed 5 neighbors after an argument, including a mother and her 9-year-old son.
We're asking everyone for your help so we can bring this suspect, or this monster I will call him, to justice.
Suspect Francisco Oropesa is a Mexican national. A source familiar with the investigation telling ABC News that he was deported 4 separate times from the U.S. and served jail time for a DWI in 2012. The shooting unfolded late Friday night in Cleveland, north of Houston. Authorities say Oropesa was outside his house firing an AR-15 for fun. His next-door neighbor, Wilson Garcia, says he and others asked him to stop because it scared his baby. But instead of putting his weapon down, authorities say Oropesa stormed out of his yard, came here to the victim's house, barged his way inside, and began his killing spree. Garcia's wife, Sonia Argentina Guzman, and his stepson, Daniel Enrique Lasso, were both killed, along with Diana Velasquez Prado, Odulia Molina Rivera, and Josue Jonathan Casares. 5 others surviving. And tonight, Texas Governor Greg Abbott forced to walk back initial comments that the 5 victims, all from Honduras, were in the country illegally. A spokesperson now saying, quote, at least one of the victims may have been in the United States legally, adding, we regret if the information was incorrect and detracted from the important goal of finding and arresting the criminal.
Matt Rivers joins us now. And Matt, there are questions tonight about Governor Abbott drawing attention to the victims' immigration status.
Yeah, Lindsay, many people are still questioning why the governor chose to bring up the victim's immigration status at all, considering authorities say it had absolutely nothing to do with their deaths. The governor's office also saying that it will contribute some of the $80,000 reward now on the table for information leading to the suspect's capture. Lindsay?
Matt Rivers for us. Thanks so much, Matt. Now to a major financial headline. The 3rd big bank to fail this year. Federal regulators seized First Republic before announcing a sale to JP Morgan Chase. So what does this mean for customers and for the economy at large? And was it a bailout? Here's ABC's Rebecca Jarvis.
Tonight, First Republic seized by government regulators and sold to the nation's largest bank, JP Morgan Chase, after the 2nd biggest bank failure in U.S. history. The president today attempting to reassure Americans the system is sound and this is not a bailout.
Let me be very clear. While depositors are being protected, shareholders are losing their investments. And critically, taxpayers are not the ones that are on the hook.
To get the deal done, the FDIC providing JP Morgan Chase with $50 billion in financing, paid for with a deposit insurance pool funded by the banks. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon saying in a statement, our government invited us and others to step up, and we did.
This part of the crisis is over. For now, we should take a deep breath.
JP Morgan will assume responsibility for all of First Republic's deposits and take over its 84 bank branch locations in 8 states.
Business as usual going forward, so it makes me happy. The last thing I want to do is go next.
First Republic is the 3rd bank to fail in just 2 months, facing many of the same issues as Silicon Valley Bank, growing quickly during the pandemic tech boom when credit was cheap, but struggling with losses as interest rates began rising rapidly.
3 banks mismanaged the greatest increase in interest rates in 40 years. They were not prepared for this scenario. They were not resilient for this scenario, and they failed as a result.
And let's get right to Rebecca Jarvis. Rebecca, many Americans have their money either in big or small community banks, but either way, their deposits are still insured by the FDIC, correct? Up to $250,000.
They are, Lindsay, and these are unsettling headlines to see 3 major banks going under in the span of 2 months. But ultimately, the takeaway for bank analysts is that this shows the system is equipped to deal with bank failure, that everybody who had their money in one of these failed banks now has access to it. The FDIC, as you say, insures that money up to $250,000. And analysts do not see this as a repeat of the 2008 financial crisis. They see the overall banking system as sound, and they don't expect massive contagion from these failed banks, Lindsay.
Well, that's positive to hear, Rebecca Jarvis. Our thanks to you. And for more on what all this could mean, I want to welcome Sheila Bayer, the former chair of the FDIC, author of the New York Times bestseller Bull by the Horns, as well as Money Tales, a series of books for children about money basics. Sheila, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us. People hear the second largest bank failure in American history. Naturally, they get concerned. You were FDIC chair during the financial crisis back in 2008 and saw firsthand what happens when these banks fail. How concerned are you about veering into a crisis?
I think it's important to keep this in context. You know, we've got a $225 billion bank. It's a $23 trillion banking system. We have over 4,000 banks. The vast majority of those are quite healthy. And so people should not worry. I always say if you're a household, if you're not a financially sophisticated person, you're a household, stay below the insured deposit limits. I say that always. If your time's bad, any bank, anywhere, stay below the insured deposit limits. And if you're a large business or a large depositor and you have some financial sophistication, understand the bank you're dealing with. There's lots of data out there about bank health. The banks that failed, there were warning signs on these banks for many, many months. So again, the vast majority of banks are fine. People shouldn't worry. I do think households should stay below the insured deposit limits, which the general rule is $250,000 per bank.
The First Republic fire sale was announced overnight before U.S. markets opened for the week. Does this show a knee-jerk tendency to deal with the short-term problem rather than address a long-term solution?
So I don't think so. I think, the FDIC was dealing with a very difficult situation. They had a bank that was failing. There was no doubt about it. And you don't want to put that off. The losses get bigger and bigger the longer you wait because sick banks that lose customers, that lose good employees. So it was clearly time to close this bank. They had a very competitive bidding process. JP Morgan Chase won the bid. They are by law required to pursue the resolution of a failed bank that imposes the least cost on the deposit insurance fund, which is an industry-funded reserve that the FDIC has to cover bank failures. So JP Morgan Chase participated in that. They had the best bid. That's the way the process works. JP Morgan Chase, as is typically the case, bid sufficiently so that they wanted to cover both the insured and the uninsured depositors. Bank bidders typically want to do that. Those uninsured depositors can be, very good customers for a bank. And so, fortunately for the uninsured in this situation, JP Morgan Chase is paying more to cover their deposits. So it was a good solution. This is what the FDIC does. This is what they're equipped to do.
On Friday, the FDIC released an internal review about Signature Bank and its failure, and the report acknowledged regulators could have done a better job in their oversight. Is the FDIC up to the task?
Yes, I think they are. I read that report and it saddened me a bit because I remember when I came to the FDIC in 2006, it was a somewhat similar situation. There had been a long period of very benign economic activity, strong bank earnings. People had just gotten complacent. The supervisory process was not supported as well as it should have been. We didn't have enough examiners. We had deep cutbacks. So I was sad to see that resources are, again, a problem at the FDIC. They need to make sure they have enough examiners, that they pay the examiners so they have good, talented people who know what they're doing in these banks. And this is important, and I think, it was a wake-up call for them. I'm sure they're taking steps even now to staff up more. But I do also want to emphasize, I do not think we have a serious banking crisis. I don't even think we have a crisis. I think we have a situation where interest rates are going up. That's creating challenges in managing interest rate risk. That's a basic thing that any banker should be able to do. There are a few banks out there that have not managed that risk well, and they are failing. But overall, the vast majority of banks are dealing with this.
Every Monday, they think that after the holiday, okay, I'll share with many people as a traveler. Every day in Singapore, that's how they do it. Every day after the holiday or after the weekend on Monday, everybody is busy. And just because they are busy, they want everybody to be busy. We compare others, we don't compare ourselves. I already said the word, one wisdom is where all the individual of the chemistry of the non-living existence, other living existence, and human living existence, including the chemistry of each and every individual's are different. And therefore, in the end, they have their own uniqueness and they have their for duties and responsibility of all the trees and their rows and functions. As the calculation of time evolved, and this is what all these people understand. As the evolution of time, there is positive and negative, but each and every if they have more positive, then their connectivity is always connected directly, indirectly speaking, will be able to merge or individually do it and act together in an automated. Every day is the same. Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, Mr. D, Mr. E, Mr. F, whatever human, the germs, the bacteria, the animals, the non-living existence. Can you say, wow, the Marvel hero, wow, the stone of astronomy, wow, humans must continue to live without being controlled by any element. The non-living existence can say, hey, rock of each other, non-living person. You have the other living existence. Also, the animal talk to another animal, hey, you need that side, you need that side. No. Now the humans, they have their own duties and responsibility, roles and functions, go do your own things. And in the end, there is something positive. But if something that is negative will always be negative, and the virus will continue to increase, just like your health in the human body. It can go from germs and bacteria that is not contagious, but slowly become virus and disease. Common illnesses can turn to virus, virus can turn to disease. The mental, the physical, why you want to increase the negativity into a disease of everyone? 他不是你死就是别人死啊，他活着，反正很好，他们考虑你嘛，他们死。Keep delegating, keep running the school, keep delegating everything, that's negative. Bring this wisdom to everybody that you should have. If they are in a good force, they shouldn't do this also because they are playing politics. Every now and then they do anything, a lot of things to do, but at the same time, let him busy, let him not know, let him not update. Thousands protests confirmed. Did I respond after the sentence? No, I just see it all. Don't see. You do not know anything in the room. Then why do you want me to know anything in the room? When I want to challenge you. Against right. But don't be critical. Or when I'm this live stream so that they can control me. But don't tell me, can you control me? Can you control me? As long as the device is strong, everybody will say artificial, you don't have a device. Everybody can control it. That's why I say, any people that you find them good at, don't work on them or even shoot them. What are they trying to achieve? People just at the work, achievement, ambition for their negativity, for their own. All this must bring across to all these people. They are sampling themselves and they are really addicted to using the divine whatever we themselves want to become. They don't see the sacrifice. If you want everything in a positivity, then if not, then you do like this. It won't make sense. Because every day you are sacrificing the negative everything. At the same time sacrificing the victims. If the victims can go through mentally, if the victims can't go through yourself and others yourself. So it's not that whether their life is miserable or my life is miserable. It's the people that you should have order at the restaurant miserable. Right? You know why you issue order for? If they look at their life miserable, it's a human perception, their life is not miserable. The human perception, oh, they're in this kind of run because of the shit of you and the job, you have to suffer. Look, it is the weakness of the system, but can you want to maintain the weakness of the system? Okay. Yeah. There are still many ways to solve the problem when you are in the weakness of the system by not having the action. Sometimes with the money and all this, again, there are still many ways. But you must, on the not on the field, instead of doing all killing each other just like the car system, not good. And that way, solve the problem. If you don't solve the problem, then here, you always like a pit. And you just stand there as spectators or you viewers, audience, and see everybody killed and killed. People have common sense on it. People have small and principles of security. So whenever they are sensible to accept people, not always trying to everybody will take on the situation and they will go back to the story and you see how what's going on. And tell them that the face of it will be right. I don't know. When I was in Philippines, I already said it to you. You want the history to over to me, then in Vietnam they will find out so between the history and the government. So you don't overstep each other's boundaries. They don't have their own rules and boundaries. I think that's why I say don't overstep the law and civil societies and kind of situation. They know each and their responsibilities, their roles and functions. So you see, it works very well. And then you have add on with this and then make influence. You can create the infection and then you fit with this. And the same in Philippines or the worst scenario, try to reduce the whole, then we keep continuing like this. Ever since year 2000, you can see that the strange things happening even the mental last year. And what we have to be always every year and the directors always I mean let's say they are the ministers or like the and then you just benefit I mean I have my phone and relate others. We just try our best to solve the problem. Try their best. And do they really try their best? Or do they really compete? So you have to provide the information to them. But listen and to them more important. When you go then you all will come down. And they have, you know, endless and then they can say even as prime ministers or any ministers and all the way down. They'll say them also and then not see. And every day will be like this. People in the pit. Go on. So in the end of the day, I'm not saying that I'm doing values. I don't like time not so much. I'm not giving people credit. It's my own way of doing it. And I'll tell them and see that I'm just doing my thing. If I don't think that you didn't have to follow, no, I'm not going to. You can center around me, no problem for you stories and also do. But if that said there are new things arising from what I say and not repetitive, then just take it as a note and keep ID first. Wait until they all feel really friendly. Because every time you think, oh, you can't, sometimes you will go, handle the problem, someone, and they, in order to prevent, they tell you, many busy, so that you will not gather the data and update the latest data. They can also update the latest data and we are in updating latest data for many sources of information. But they say that sometimes my data is not that important and then they want to act. You don't have to. You can take every okay. Say this is the one, the latest one, but at the moment, some what is the immediate and what is the short term problem, the long term problem, all this is immediate problem and try to solve The first long term can be immediate, medium term can be immediate, short term can be not immediate. So all this. So I try to do a few times to do my emergency. So that's a good thing. Most funny I think that's a bad choice. It's really funny, they're very funny. They're so like control. And then when I was in 7 I see the way they react, it's so funny that it's not that they are really cool. I mean they are really good. They are not into they are nurse, I mean trained to be nurses. Then I was at 7-Eleven. After they asked, hey, what's your partner? I said, everybody do their own thing don't come to this thing. Then what do you think? The auntie arranged the script and all the way sent to this and so we know where are we going and we prepare the scripts and everything and in the morning exactly we 7-Eleven with mine or my school. When I go some petrol at 7-Eleven just to take my breakfast every time I go to see I was prepared to see it. Then after that I go to OB then I go to months. Normally I go that time I go to OB. So I can eating and sometimes they lock me and then a fat bum, to fat bum to just sit there. Not allow me to sit. Okay, then when I go, I go on the place or the other side, the other side is closed. So I just sit there and keep my. Then after they kind of play with all these eating game and all these things. Then I never check. Then after then eating game in my mind and every time. And after they somehow I also don't know what they're talking about this auto answer and everything. Yeah, so I really cannot do anything. I also don't know what they're talking about. So they do this event and they allow to say you all cannot settle it, I hope you settle it. So they will laugh and then say, maybe we have to settle it. And then sometimes the leader they will say, what are you doing? What is this? And again, what sort of walls and between the mind and the words and all this. So anyway, just everybody do everything sometimes they follow the script, sometimes they don't follow it, sometimes they want to follow it. Sometimes like here will be more like the war piece. So it's a way to massage. You all get some board down and I think I will not script on the idea. Always call the war piece. Here or maybe that you may be sure. They don't come into the field the same and they just try to follow it. But what I'm saying is that it's not so funny that I go to all these that really they took away all these days that they have been accumulating for more than 2013 and of course that's probably 2013 until this already about 8 years, 9 years and so then this how they let children grow up and that's how they have money to continue to live and Vietnam the PSDF and stop everything for them and food security that and so now basically everybody is talking about and so they are very happy now with the recycled shoe
humans have always reached.
A lot of them is, of course, in time when they study and they certain things, go there in hard time, and then they just want to, but I'm actually not. But I just go there and see them. Yeah, sure, you can go back. I see, and it's really just see how they are. I'll still maybe maybe establish an office then, but I also, I guess I really have many things to do. So, life should continue as what it is, even without me getting involved. I don't have to get involved. That's the most important thing. Doesn't mean you need to have certain things and then you need to get involved. For me, I see this just to understand, and I don't see what I'm so not able to get so so in time whether it's a real one, the other one came up with also whether it's the real Marcos or whatever. So I think it's already on the asset. I didn't say exactly what it is, but they themselves believe it. They don't have to deliver. They don't have to add stories. They can just look at based on how let's say I only 1+1 is 1+1+1 is 3. So 1+2 is 3. So I say 1+1 is 3. They look at it all. But they don't describe the reason. The more they do it, the more we mistake everybody. And we can have body double. Why would you? I'm not the one. That's why they try to create all this in order to I want to subscribe so that they can get you can get the latest information by the RSS feeder. Not necessarily, not necessarily. But it's just one thing I want to update.
The people of Myanmar are facing unprecedented political, socioeconomic, and human rights crises. More than 2 years after the military takeover.
More than 2,900 civilians are dead, some 16,000 others detained, only 1.6 million displaced, and nearly 18 million people are now in need of humanitarian assistance.
The IFRC regional director for Asia Pacific visited Myanmar last week. Alexander Hale met with the nation's ministers and reiterated the need for principled humanitarian assistance. He joins us now this morning on Asia First. Mr. Hale, let's first start with how the meeting with the country's ministers went last week. What's the message were you able to convey? And was there any indication of how the military government feels about the humanitarian crisis within the country?
In every country in the world, there is a way of the West Coast. In Myanmar, there is tension, and they are innovative, they are authority. And at the same time, there is life for certain fundamental principles of humanity, neutrality, independence. I have those meetings in Myanmar because there is a new leadership in the Myanmar Red Cross. And it was important to speak to the authorities, to whom they are fulfilling, about those principles. Because in times of conflict, those principles really are challenged. They become very hard to apply, especially if you're a national organization. Because there is mistrust everywhere. Where you're from, where your office is located, who may be influencing you. All those factors may decide whether or not you can be accepted into communities that deliver humanitarian assistance. In those meetings, I try to underline the importance of not believing that it is at the same time neutral, impartial, and independent, and that it should be allowed to access communities across the country, whatever time underlying things are. Those discussions, we heard each other. Some assurances about the importance and the directions were given, but not the guarantee we will be given access to all parts of the country because there are constraints on the ability to provide those assurances. But we heard, I think the messages were that when you're building these complex and delicate situations, I guess at the speed that really hit the ground, that is the current humanitarian situation in Myanmar. How has it changed since the
have displaced large parts of the country inaccessible to humanitarian organizations. And then on top of that, it's a country very prone to natural disasters. Even while I was there, there was a tornado that destroyed a nearby village. Several people lost their lives. And like across the rest of Southeast Asia, we should see more of extreme weather events. WHO describes Myanmar as one of the worst places in the world to access healthcare, and around 40% of the population are underneath the nation's poverty line. Now, for those who know Myanmar and have known it for some time, will know that a lot of that is familiar. It is a country that has experienced conflict for many decades now, and has been isolated from the international community for many, many years. Nevertheless, over the last 2 years, we've seen some things definitely get worse. There is an intensity of rising in more parts of the country. Consequently, more people are displaced, and it is harder to provide humanitarian assistance. So all of those factors exacerbate the vulnerability of people in Myanmar at the moment.
What do the people in Myanmar need most right now?
Safety, security, always come first. If you live in an area affected by conflict, your life is severely disrupted and dangerous in terms of your moving there, joining fighting groups, areas of attacks are frequent. It's very difficult to sustain livelihoods or to stay safe in one place. It means you may be forced to move. Once you move, you look for independence and you require assistance to very basic supplies, shelter, water, food, etc. So there are extreme needs depending on which part of the country you live or how affected it is by conflict and whether or not you are isolated. But as I mentioned, those are not the only risks making people vulnerable in Myanmar. Broadly speaking, wherever you live, there are challenges around access to health, work, and food security.
The refugee crisis in Myanmar is different to just either. The one person, especially when it's related to their dealing it with sort of Rohingya, being Malaysia, who goes about that.
Well, there are a lot of discussions in Myanmar. Some religion may go back to Bangladesh in 2023, probably not large numbers. And there are a lot of question marks about will they go voluntarily, and once they arrive, will they live in places where they are allowed to work, will they have to be more documented, or will they live in transplant conditions or completely independent? A lot depends on the conditions that people will return to, whether this is an isolated group or return or the beginning of something bigger. Beyond that, as you say, there is a broad crisis around Rohingya in the region, most specifically in Bangladesh, because the conditions in the camps, unfortunately, are beginning to deteriorate. This is often what we see when a crisis hits the headlines in this case 5 years ago, and then gradually flips off. There's a lot of global solidarity at the beginning, and that global solidarity over time goes down, especially for the other crises in the world that have to be finished. So we are seeing less intensity to support Rohingya in Cox's Bazar as a result of quality of life deteriorating, as a result of more people are trying to leave, which is creating other crises in terms of rescue at sea and the willingness of neighbouring states to provide that service to people who have chosen that option. But for most people in Cox's Bazar, there really are very few options. That right now, close not go back. You cannot stay in any place. No other countries really are offering asylum in significant numbers. You can go to the island of Bhasan, then you might be even more isolated. You can try to escape, that is dangerous, or you stay in deteriorating conditions. So that really is one of the biggest crises in the Asia-Pacific region that we must get.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bill. We're speaking about now Asia Pacific, Director of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Society. The U.S. estimates that Russia has killed more than 1
that has stalled.
The only area where Russia has made some incremental gains is on the focus on incremental would be that and that area is one of those that will very well continue to happen so much. The capture of that movement is absolutely now over the course of the war in Russia's favor. And then Ukraine's defenses in the areas surrounding that area still remain strong.
The U.S. says about half of those were soldiers and certified paramilitary firms as actors, and that many of them were convicts conscripted without sufficient training. Governor Pence also blamed the Russian Defense Ministry for insufficient support provided to their troops, and he's now again appealing for more ammunition as the fighters attempt to seize Bakhmut.
In other parts of Ukraine, Russia has unleashed a series of missile strikes and set off huge fires in the eastern city of Zaporozhye, causing damage to dozens of homes and more casualties. The attack is one effect way that these might attack for 3 days. Experts say Moscow seems to be reviving its winter tactic of long-range strikes, intended to harm Ukrainian capital and land.
As Ukraine's crucial trade event here, American and NATO allies want to see with extensive artillery and ammunition for the upcoming battle. The Trade Alliance says Ukraine has received more than 98% of the combat vehicles promised to them.
NATO members meantime are set to meet in Lithuania in July. Experts say the meeting would be the best opportunity to respond to Ukraine's membership application, which it officially submitted last September.
But earlier we had a conversation with the chair of NATO's military committee, Admiral Paul Bauer, who was speaking to us about the conference in LA. We asked him about his latest assessment of where things stand in Ukraine and what NATO's role in the war.
Both sides have this sensible problems in terms of we're in the 15th month of a 4-day war. That was what Mr. Putin said at the beginning. And basically, after a lot of battles, a lot of time, both sides now are looking for new personnel, new weapon systems, and more ammunition. And that is what is ongoing. And the result most likely will be that the Russians will have to focus, not by choice, but by necessity, for quantity, which means a lot of not so well trained conscripts who are mobilized people, and they will have to use older material from stock. We're talking, for example, about the T-54 tank. The 54 stands for the year when the tank was designed, 1954. The Ukrainians will most likely focus on quality, using Western weapon systems and the Western training that is being provided for both the weapon systems and the larger units that are using those weapon systems combined.
Admiral, what about NATO-Russia nor Ukraine close to achieving its stated war aims for now? Any further indications currently of how long we should expect this conflict to go on, and how do you think this war will end? What will it take to get there?
It would be very difficult to say how the war exactly will end, but for now it is certain that the Russians have not changed their strategic objectives, which is basically not only taking Ukraine, but basically going back to the borders of 1997, which is including most of the nations that are now member of NATO, from the north of the three Baltic states, Poland, Hungary, Slovakia, Bulgaria, and Romania. That means that it's not only about Ukraine this war. And so the strategic objectives from the Russians have not been met at all. And therefore they will continue to take more of Ukraine. And as a result, Ukraine needs to continue to defend itself, and of course is going to take back, if possible, as much of what is legally theirs, and that is to retake the territory that was taken by the Russians. Ukrainian side. So it is very difficult right now to know exactly what meant. But the spring offensive that a lot of people are talking about gave a force for the Ukrainians to take back what is legally theirs.
And we've said before that NATO is prepared for a direct confrontation with Russia, but what would be the red line that would cause that to happen, and what is being done to both deter it, but also to prepare for it?
Well, I think it is important to understand that since the Ukrainian annexation, the Russian annexation of Crimea in 2014, in the military we started thinking about Russia as a threat to NATO, and we developed a new NATO military strategy in 2019. And then from there on, we continued working on a deterrence and defense strategy based on the fact that there's two threats, being Russia and the terrorist groups. That is that work is ongoing, but the result of that work in the 24th of February 2022 was that NATO was actually more ready than a lot of people expected. For example, by beefing up the number of forces under command of NATO from 4,000 to 40,000. And we surprised Russia by doing that. And I think the Russians are not seeking any confrontation with Russia. And therefore, that works. So that deterrence works with regard to the defense of and the deterrence of our alliance. Generations that will change the future of us. One day we will lead how we can bring McDonald's, banks, apartments, and food like learning right now from this generation of country. For the great news, we can also great
market reactions at Hong Kong housing gets a boost up nearly 2%. Australia's FTSE 200 is down some, with the decision by the RBA, while the Aussie dollar is strengthening some against the greenback. And Harry Benjamin, head of Asian energy strategy at Asian DC, joins us now. Harold, one of the big things that we had this morning is US debt ceiling prices. It appears that it's going to be worse than what people are expected. What is the scope and scale, and what are your concerns of how this could or would affect Asia?
Well, default would be a very big step. We the US was big its obligations, but really is not a very large. So the assumption is that markets should, at some point in the future, people come together and there's some sort of solution in the past, as we've seen in the past, there's been work in the time. Whatever happens, hopefully we're not going to get another big financial crisis, but I don't really think the key thing to watch here is what happens in the next because it's likely to generally not move higher and it would be really benefit for Asian equities. We get strong banking systems. We can do that on the technical side from the US, but just have to see how things work out and how that is as well.
Harold, some of the major events focus on something like that, which may largely involve the takeover by JP Morgan, but considering the need that those other smaller economics they still struggling. And it's too early to say that the crisis is contained, and will Asia still remain its risk from this?
Well, the underlying problem is that interest rates are really high and the shape of the yield curve is not very favorable for many banks. The underlying problem is going away, will not go away. So we should expect that we're going to see more help coming out of the global banking system over the course of the next couple of months. But if you then look at Asia, and you look at the banks in Asia, most banks are really well positioned. The ASEAN banks are really strong, they're very strong balance sheets. The Indian banks are really cleaned up and a lot of the bank loans that we have on their balance sheets over the last couple of years. China is different anyway to a certain extent because it's a capital producers inside even though we're just there in US dollars and not really impacted very much by what happened with US dollar rates. The Taiwanese and Korean banks, they are probably a little bit immune to these movements, but strongly linkages with what happened in the US. But they too seem to be looking at very well. So I'm not so worried about the Asian region or the impact of this part of the world.
But Harold, under they're also pricing in a 25 basis point hike from the Fed this week. How much of their course will it still be a focus or a dovish stance?
Yeah, it's going to be more to see how this will work out in November. The important thing is if you look at the bond yields, and that's effectively what drives up markets. So the capital rates and the moving interest rate, that's a good short term of the curve, but it's the yields, the borrowing rates that companies face, say on 5 to 10 year notes that really matters for Asian equities, and those have come down. So if we see a shift in the language and the market gets a little bit very clear, maybe even the people interest rates being set by the Fed, that could mean that things will improve. We think that will happen in the second half of the year, and that will be positive for the Asian equity universe in general, Middle Asian stocks.
And now before we go, South Korea prepares for the decelerating of their central bank like the Fed has on its rate decision. How big a piece that's upside for you, and what is your outlook for Asian equities?
Well, inflation across Asia is not really as much as a problem as it is in, say, Australia, the US, or Europe. Although it seems that in large parts of the developed economies that I just mentioned, inflation seems to be getting under control. And in Asia, it's not really an issue. So we've seen some of the central banks from September onwards, the amount of progress that will cut rates in the latter part of the year. But then again, it's positive for Asian equities as well. So the global macro picture that we're looking at
taking the restaurant president there from HSBC. And Asia Festival today, 50,000 people turn up at more tomorrow. And we're going to check it out in any time of the day.
Just you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter as well, like that. News of this hour, US President Joe Biden has reiterated America's commitment to the security of the Philippines, amid growing concerns about Beijing's increasing assertiveness over Taiwan and the South China Sea.
The United States remains very much committed to the defense of the Philippines, including the South China Sea. There are geopolitical issues that made the region where the Philippines is possibly one of the most dictated geopolitical situation in the world right now. And so it is only natural that for the Philippines to do its sole treaty part.
NATO says it does not see Beijing as a threat and will not get involved in the currently should there be a conflict between China and Taiwan.
The alliance is always up to China's everywhere. Is not making military attacks against China and therefore Russia. And therefore, it's very likely that NATO as an alliance, military way is becoming involved in the conflict if there will be a conflict between China and Taiwan.
But the UN has warned that its military Vale, a ver, teenagers. Generations that were shaping the future of life. So what today revisiting how we can bring back to values and values back to the front. Uniting ourselves on this journey of discovery. For the great green season, great knowledge, human, and DNA of the air.
When it comes to such things, the higher the SPF, the better. People are consistently living their lives all because sexy or sandy.
As China prepares for dangerous storms, how is coffee being mobilized? What are the forces of cyber-nationalism at work in China? The little things actually refer to a group of people who are very educated, careful, who set social media agendas, and also who criticize people who do not agree with their opinions. And how does the new form of patriotic education contribute to security in China? On the 13th of October 2022, a protest banner was unfurled across the busy overpass in Beijing on the eve of the important 20th Communist Party Congress. Days later, similar remarks could be seen in toilets across the country. It's likely most in China were unaware of these acts of dissent. Expression that tries to stimulate collaboration, explicit sensitive activism, and criticism of top leaders are most likely to be censored. Censors are very sensitive to such types of content and can react swiftly and individually. If one slip past censors and forwarded such content on channels like WeChat or Weibo, one could get one's account banned. Life without WeChat is akin to being cut off from society. WeChat is social media. It's also a payment system and an app for purchasing plane and train tickets. Losing it would be debilitating. When management began threats like paying out of WeChat account, and sometimes the money is frozen there, so you can take it out later.
So that would actually be a financial burden for people if you actually put money there. A few days later, another event made global headlines and put censorship officials on overdrive. China's former leader, Hu Jintao, was escorted off the stage. Official media says Hu was sick at the event. The incident was downplayed in China, and Hu Jintao's name was scrubbed from China's internet, not appearing in any searches for several days. The censorship creates an environment in China where you don't have you have basically party line that's disseminated, and people usually can be individual comments they don't get much comment. Despite tight censorship, protests broke out in several Chinese cities soon after the 20th Party Congress ended. The protests were largely sparked by a deadly residential fire in Beijing, seen by many as a result of strict pandemic controls. This was the largest protest since the Tiananmen incident. Within China, the event remains largely unreported. I think not many Chinese really know what happened last year when the white paper protests happened in many Chinese cities, which also led to the final opening up and the relaxing from zero COVID policy. Because of the censorship, I think not many people actually had the access to this kind of information. But this doesn't mean that this kind of protests had no significant impact on China's politics and also human rights. So we know that throughout 2022, actually the government had enhanced its control over the society due to the political reasons, but we still see these kind of protests, which means that the civil society in China is still very vibrant, and also people still dare to voice differently once they are really facing some kind of difficulties in their life. Voicing differently can mean severe consequences.
大家好，我是知心。希望如果投资朋友在某一个时间口关注这个视频公众号，也就是说，当大家看到这个视频时，我已经被警察带走了，就像我的其他几位朋友一样。11月27日，我和几位朋友加入了当晚364方面的人群案件。我如今26岁，刚毕业1年半，参加了上次编辑。我的朋友们也是和我相似行业的，我们有着自己的工作，我们关注这个社会，我们的同胞面对时有合理的情绪想要表达，我们对失去生命的人充满同情，所以我们去了现场。我们不想从世界消失，我们想知道为什么生活会被变动，知道人的数据是什么。在没有罪证的前提下，为什么我们可以对这样轻易的开脱？ Has there been any public discussion in China about the enactment of these protests?
No, I didn't see any public discussion about the rest of people who participated in this kind of protests. There was zero reporting, official reporting about this. The protests and any news related to it are used as the threat of negative imaging. Professor Wang, a former diplomat who frequently represents China at international forums, explains why suppressing negative imaging is important. This is
Hello, I'm back already. I see what is happening to my Restream web broadcast. So all is fine. I'm preparing to go outdoors. Today is Monday. Some people say Monday indoors because they are in the service office or in their home because they have things to do. Some people have this Monday off, so they stay at home. Yeah, this one happens very often. When I come back, they want to say something on the toilet and things.